Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hi, I'm Maryana Hasibatul Afanah from AGB with student ID number 200602110008 and 2. Now I'm going to answer some questions about the Fiqh subject taught by Mr. Muniro Abini to fulfill my final semester exam assignments. Here are 8 questions that I'll answer. So check this out. Okay, for the first question is how to deal with different views or khilafiyah in fiqh. Okay, the existence of khilafiyah is a problem that often occurs among humans. Khilafiyah is a difference of opinion, especially on a legal issue in the context of khilafiyah, with the meaning of fiqh problems. The following is the evidence from the hadith narrated by Abu Dawud. إذا حكم الحاكم فاجتهد فأصاب فله أجران وإذا حكم فاجتهد فخطأ فله أجران. The meaning is, if a judge will determine the law and then he ijtihad and his ijtihad is correct, then he gets 2 rewards. And his ijtihad is wrong, then he gets 1 reward. Historical hadith of Abu Dawud. So we ask people who love peace and respect each other must respond wisely in several ways, including the first, the attitude of tolerance between followers of the madhab with the meaning of not blaming each other, but both carry out what they believe without arguing between who is more true. And the second is talqin, namely taking actions on a legal basis by combining 2 madhab of 2 or more with no rules allowed. And the third is eliminating fanaticism towards a school, namely understanding how the right rules of madhab without demeaning others. And the last is has a high awareness, balanced with broad knowledge because it is getting better the higher the knowledge, the higher the morals in respecting differences. Okay, we go into the next questions. The second question is, how is the law of mut'ah marriage? The hadith of Sabra bin Ma'bad al-Juhayni radiyallahu anhu from his grandfather said, "Nakhruj minha hatta nahana anha amarana Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam bil mut'ati amal fathi hina dakhalna Makkah thumma lam." And the meaning is, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam ordered us to marry mut'ah on Fathu Makkah when we entered Mecca, and we didn't go out of it, so that we forbade us from it. Based on the hadith, it can be said that mut'ah marriage was permitted at the time of the Fathu Makkah, but then it was forbidden because it is no longer valid in non-emergency condition like today. Mut'ah marriage is the marriage of a man with a woman within a certain time limit, with something given to him in the form of wealth, food, clothing, or other things. The impact of mut'ah marriage includes not giving an obligation on mut'ah husband leaving marriage and according to the specific time. Further iddah for 45 for women who have intercourse. Do not get any inheritance. Mental health is disturbed. The child doesn't get his father's lineage. Is not considered Muslim. And women are like disposable goods and can affect the environment to participate in mut'ah marriage. So that's why mut'ah marriage is haram. Okay, now we are going to the next questions. The third question is, how is the law for the establishment of an Islamic caliphate? The Islamic caliphate is an Islamic concept that seeks to implement the pure teachings of the Quran and Sunnah instead political activities to conform to Islamic law. Even if the word of Khilafah is based on Allah or Khalifatullah, then the meaning is to respect and glory from Allah given to His chosen servants, not as a substitute and representative of Allah on earth, because there is no single creature that can occupy, replace, or represent Allah Ta'ala. As Al-Raghib Al-Asfahani said, wal khilafatun niyabatu anal ghairi imma li ghaibatil manubi anhu wa imma li mautihi wa imma li ajzihi wa imma li tashrifil mustakhlafi wa ala hadzal wajhil akhiri istakhlafallah awliya'ahu fil ard. And the meaning is, The caliphate is the representative of other people. Sometimes the representative is due to the absence of the person he represents because of his death or because of his weakness. Sometimes also because as a tribute to the person who was asked to represent him. This last meaning is what Allah means to make caliph or Khalifa of his lovers on earth. However, the establishment of this caliphate must be adapted to the condition of the country in which it is occupied. Deputy Chairperson of the Indonesian Ulama Council or MUI said the caliphate system was a system though in Islam. The Indonesian Ulama Council is of the opinion that the implementation of the caliphate system is not a must. The reason is that until now there has been no understanding between the scholars regarding the ideal form of the caliphate, so that it is it does not become so that it doesn't become an obligation. Something that is not mandatory should not be required, as well as something that is not prohibited should not be forbidden, he said when he campaigned. Okay, we're going to the next questions. The first question is, how is contemporary Islamic law on insemination and in vitro fertilizations? Okay, IVF, or in medical language called in vitro fertilization, is an effort to obtain pregnancy by bringing together sperm cells and egg cells in a special container without going through sexual intercourse. The Indonesian Ulama Council, or MUI, in its fatwa stated babies attached with sperm and ovum from husband and wife that is legally permissible, or it called can. There are two things that say that IVF is halal. The first is the sperm must be taken from the husband and the ovaries were taken from his wife and then planted and transplanted into his wife's womb. And it becomes unlawful if sperm taken from the male is sown to the ovaries of the woman who is not his wife and then grafted into his wife's womb. And the ovaries taken from the woman's side are implemented into sperm taken from the man who is not her husband and then grafted into the woman's womb. Its relevance with Quran Surah Al-Nisa verse 36. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. وَلَا تَقْفُ مَا لَيْسَ لَكَ بِهِ عِلْمٌ إِنَّ السَّمْعَ وَالْبَصَرَ وَالْفُؤَادَ كُلُّ أُولَٰئِكَ كَانَ عَنْهُ مَسْئُولًا. And the meaning is, and do not follow what you do not know, because of hearing, sight, and conscience, all of them will be held accountable. That's some Quran which is relevant with this problem. Okay, we're going to the next question. So the fifth question is, what is the law on donation and transplanting of body parts or organs to people in need? Organ transplant is an operation to move a healthy organ from a donor to be transplanted to another person or recipient who has organ damage. Classical Fiqh scholars agree that transplanting human organs with other human organs is allowed as long as you don't get other organs and cause harm. Al-Nawawi argues that if a person connects his bones with unclean goods because there are no sacred goods, then the law is allowed. However, if there is a holy item, then it is connected with an unclean item, then the law must be opened if it doesn't cause danger. The related verse on Quran Surah Al-Baqarah verse 195. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. وَأَنْفِقُوا فِي سَبِيلِ اللَّهِ وَلَا تُلْقُوا بِأَيْدِيكُمْ إِلَى التَّهْلُكَةِ وَأَحْسِنُوا إِنَّ اللَّهَ يُحِبُّ الْمُحْسِنِينَ. And it has meaning, and spend your wealth in the way of Allah, and do not drop yourself into destruction with your own hands, and do good. Indeed, Allah loves those who do good. It means transplanting organs or donation organs is a good action, and Allah loves someone who do that good action. Okay, we're going to the next question. The fifth question is, how is the law of autopsy for research? There's an argument that sounds الضرورات تبيح المحظورات. The meaning is emergency conditions allow prohibited things. On the fatwa of the Indonesian Ulama Council number 6 of 2009 concerning autopsies, it is stated that all types of autopsies are prohibited or forbidden in Islam, but if an emergency or urgent condition, autopsies are allowed. An autopsy, also known as a death examination or necropsy, is mortuary investigation to check the cause of death. Three types of autopsies. The first is anatomical autopsy, the second is clinical autopsy, and the third is forensic autopsy. The principle of respect for someone who has died, as can be understood from the hadith mentioned above, brings consequence for not doing something that can harm the corpse, including dissecting it for the benefit of humans who are still alive. The sources are controversy about whether it is legal or not about mayat surgery. However, what needs to be observed is that there is an important addition by Ibn Majah from Hadith Salama words in her saying. Thus, this hadith means breaking the bones of a dead person is as sinful as breaking bones alive. Dissection of corpse can be seen based on the purpose of the surgery the corpse. In Islamic law and the world of medical science have the same factors in terms of the permissibility of performing post-mortem or autopsy, among others for reasons of law enforcement against it in the investigation process to determine the cause and effect of death of a person, to save the fetus that is believed to be alive and can be saved in the womb of mother who has died, or others. Okay, we're going to the next questions. The second question is, how is the law of change or operation sex? There's Quran Surah Al-Hujurat verse 13. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Ya ayyuhan nasu inna khalaqnakum min dzakarin wa untha wa ja'alnakum syu'uban wa qabaila lita'arafu. Inna akramakum 'indallahi atqakum. Innallaha 'alimun khabir. And the meaning is, O people, indeed we created you from a male and a female. Then we made you into nations and tribes so that you might know one another. Verily, the most honorable of you in the sight of Allah is the one who is most pious. Indeed, Allah is all-knowing, all-aware. Transsexual, or in English called transsexual, is someone who have one of the sexes between male or female, but identification, personal, and psychosocial characteristics resemble those of the opposite sex, and choose to live as a member of the opposite sex by having sex reassignment surgery or sex reassignment surgery. In general, transgender or changing gender is haram in law Islam. Quran and Hadith expert Gaya Haji Ahsan Sako Muhammad explained it. Changing gender is only allowed or permissible if the person has medical disorder. Based on the fatwa of the Indonesian Ulama Council or MUI regarding marriages that are carried out for the parties, one of which has gone through a replacement operation gender or sex reassignment surgery, then the marriage is not valid or unlawful according to the Islamic view. Because in principle he has married someone who have the same sex as themselves or are considered to be married to each other's type, and that is classified as a major sin. And for the last question, the eighth question is, how is the law of cloning in an Islamic perspective? Cloning is a process of duplicating or imitating an organ to make it look like the original organ. Cloning can take place through the process of taking cells from the human body, then the cell nucleus is taken and combined with female egg whose cell nucleus has been removed. The process of cloning plants and animals doesn't cause conflict in society, but if it is successfully carried out on humans, it will cause conflict. Islamic law scholars firmly reject the practice of cloning in humans because of fears that conmutation in cloned products will cause bad effects in the future. Based on the decision of the Fourth National Fatwa, the MUI stipulates that cloning humans in any way that results in human multiplication is illegal. According to the Surah 18 verse 4, Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala said, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim, لَقَدْ خَلَقْنَا الْإِنسَانَ فِي أَحْسَنِ تَقْوِيمٍ. And the meaning is, indeed, we have created man in the best of form. So that's why, because Allah have created the best of form of human, we shouldn't to not make anything different from the created from Allah. Okay, maybe that's all from me. I'm sorry for making some mistake. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Goodbye.